All you want is my hunger. All you need is my pain. Nothing in between, never met you lost. When you were born there was thunder, fire lit in the sky as to lead astray. Now heavy rain pours out of you and me. Come back, rain.
So what do you get if you add a normal girl and some elf ears? Well, this apparently.
Hit or miss, I guess they never miss, huh? You got a boyfriend, I bet he doesn't kiss ya.
So who is Belle and what is this video about? Well, basically Belle is an Instagram/TikTok thing, I don't know if you can call it a creator. She's going to be a case study for something that's going to go a bit deeper into the world of Patreon, which I'll go into in the second half of the video, because I want to show you the world of Patreon and where it's going to and how they're actually breaking their own community guidelines. Now, some people might not know this, but Belle has actually been on YouTube for over 2 years now, and it's only just became very active on views and subs. But she wasn't always this crazy little pink-haired troll who tries to sell herself on Patreon or Instagram. She was actually initially just a normal girl, just with elf ears, that's all she was. So we're going to look at the reasons why she's possibly changed from what she was then to this.
Hit or miss, I guess they never miss, huh? You got a boyfriend, I bet he doesn't kiss ya. He gon' find another girl and he won't miss ya. He gon' skirt then hit the dub like Wiz Khalifa.
In fact, let's not waste our time, we know what the reason is. It's simply money. And Patreon basically allows people like Belle to sell pornographic material at will. Now, I'm going to take you to the Patreon community guidelines and we're going to look through this very carefully because it actually states something extremely interesting. So this is a text from the official Patreon community guidelines. Lastly, you cannot sell pornographic material or arrange sexual services as a reward for your Patreons. Now, this is going to highlight one thing that is very wrong with Belle, and don't get me wrong, a lot of other people's pledge page. Now, keeping the community guideline that we just read in mind, this is one of Belle's reward tiers, if you like. It's quite expensive, and you can see that within this you get the sexiest, naughtiest social media Snapchats, naughty videos, and not suitable for work pics. Now, these are quite easy to find if you just Google them. I'm not going to show them this because it will get demonetized. This is basically selling pornographic material, and as I said before, Belle isn't the only one. It's quite widespread across the platform as a whole. Now, if you go to any streamers on Twitch, just chatting page, there's some prominent people on there, some of which I'm showing just now. They do it quite a lot. They basically use Patreon as a sex shop for them. They know that people are going to show general interest in them, go to these tiers and want to see more. So how did Belle, an impressionable girl, get to the point she is now? Well, what she's doing isn't anything new. The people on the screen now have been doing it for quite a while. They basically try and lure in little virgins, lead them to different links, whether it be Instagram or Snapchat. All have had Patreon in the past, some are still active, some I couldn't find, but they use that as a way of luring money in again. Now, I can't comment on the tiers that they've got, it's more of the strategy of what they do, and it's basically selling themselves on screen to try and gain extra views, extra traffic. It's a bit grimy, if I'm being totally honest. Now, an impressionable girl who sees this, wants to make it big on YouTube or Instagram, they're going to follow it, but they're not just going to follow it, they're going to try and better it, because they know if they can better it, they're going to be bigger and probably have more money. So for me, Belle could be a classic case of just trying to follow who she's seen in the past, and now in the position where she's selling porn on Patreon, which personally, as a father of a daughter, is a very shitty place to be. Now, I just want to touch on Patreon, just explain for anyone who doesn't actually know what it is fully or why it's a thing and why it could possibly damage other people if this is seen to be selling porn, because it's a very grey area. Now, Patreon is a way of supporting a content creator. I have one, but I don't use it. I don't really need the support. I've had it for a while and I never really mention it, to be honest. It's just something that most creators have. Now, within that, you have different tiers, as I've shown, where you reward people who donate to help support them in what they're doing. Now, it can be anything from someone who plays music, creates videos, draws art. It varies in all ways, shapes and form. Now, the people that we've mentioned, Belle included, as I said, are using this now as more of a shop to try and bring people in who they know are going to try and buy this because they want to see more, as I've explained before. It's just not really helping other creators who possibly use this site, because in time people may actually think Patreon is just some scummy sex shop, when it's not. It's actually a very good thing to use. It's a good way, and a lot of people use it to support themselves to do their job, which is create content. Now, as I mentioned before, the Twitch girls really push this, but they're very coy in how they do it. They won't actually have it on a Twitch page, but as soon as you go to their Twitter, which they try and link heavily, you'll see there's a Patreon link, and they'll put in their feed constantly, join my Patreon, new Patreon pictures out, etc, etc. I would show some of the stuff that is in it, but I don't want to get demonetized myself, and I don't really think this is the platform to really show it. It's just not really the best place to do it. But feel free, just go to any of the Just Chatting Twitch, just look for someone dancing about like an idiot with practically nothing on, follow the links, and it'll take you to their Patreon page. Now, as I said, this is used for a lot of people to actually support them in what they do. And me personally, I think it's a bit of a slap in the face to other creators who need this to stand aside people who are just breaking the guidelines and probably making a hell of a lot more money than the average person who is probably struggling to get through but creating decent content. They're not standing in front of a mirror, smashing eggs over themselves, sending pictures of them naked or in the shower, like some of the tiers that I've looked at already are being sold. So I'm concerned a little bit. Probably nothing will ever happen of it, but there is that potential of it blowing up. Now, let's go back to our main case study, Belle. What does the future hold for Belle? Well, let's be fair, she's probably not going to change what she's doing because she's making money from it. Instagram and TikTok are very, very big platforms for her. I personally think she'll push more into YouTube now that she's getting the traction, a lot less graphic, but she'll push that Patreon just the same. The biggest concern really is, will this entice other people to start doing the same and using the same tactic, and where will it end? We all remember Vine. It was a shit show. TikTok is slowly becoming a shit show as well. It's extremely popular with a lot of kids. They can easily download it, easily use it, and they all see it. So the concern is really, where will it end and how far will it go? Now, TikTok has already had some scandals where people have been identified as potential paedophiles, doing unnecessary things on the platform. I just hope that doesn't fall its way to YouTube. So guys, that kind of draws in all of my Belle Delphine. A bit of a different look on it. I know a lot of people have done the same standard thing over and over again, but I want to look at the main aspect of what it means for everyone else. Yes, she is mainly on TikTok and everything else, but when it's starting to fall its way onto YouTube, our platform, it can start to affect us as well. As I mentioned before, this is something that's been used by YouTubers in the past. I personally haven't seen it as much lately. However, TikTok, like Vine, will probably fall to pieces and they'll all jump back on here again. And before we know it, we've just got 5,000-6,000 stupid little elf-eared girls trying to sell porn basically via Patreon. I've got a couple more videos that I'm looking to do which looks at different angles of things like we have today and yesterday. If you haven't seen yesterday's, it was basically YouTube still promoting porn basically within a different section of the YouTube community. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out, especially if you've been demonetized in the past, because it'll probably piss you off a lot. So next week you'll probably see another 2 or 3 videos like this, but again looking at the other side of what people haven't really looked at.
I go la 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 la.